Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, Temple of Balance on YouTube. I'm also from Harmony on High Street in Campbelltown, Tasmania. So welcome. I am here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 16th of December through to Sunday the 22nd of December 2024. So we haven't got many more of these to do for the year. So welcome. While you're coming over, I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website or at Harmony on High Street. Thank you so much for your support. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday the 16th of December here, and the time is 10:11 a.m. Welcome. Welcome, Pamela. It's lovely to see you. Thanks for joining me today. So, if you're new to watching, what I'm going to be doing is using my Oracle cards. These are Oracle cards that I illustrated and created. We've got two decks combined. We've got Speed of Light Oracle cards and the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. And I use this combined deck of 110 cards to find the best cards that the majority of us need for this particular week. So how do I know that I'm going to find the best cards? I know how my cards work, and I'm confident in the way I choose my cards. So when you're confident in the way you choose your cards, it makes for a more confident reading. And plus lots of practice. When you practice a lot with the cards and get to know them and get to know how they speak to you personally and how they speak through your intuition, then you can build up a trust in the cards. So I'm not pulling cards for individuals today. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. I do recommend that you take on board what does feel right and what does resonate, and let the rest go. Good morning, Angela's here from New York City. Welcome. And Marina's here from San Diego. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, everyone. Let's see, what do we need to know for this week ahead? So I'm shuffling the cards and I'm asking the cards to show the majority of us what do we need to know for this week, starting Monday the 16th of December through to Sunday the 22nd of December 2024. And we'll go with these cards. I'm just going to lay them face down here next to me, so bear with me a second. Okay, let's see what we've got. Let's start with Monday the 16th of December. We have an Animal Kingdom Oracle card, and we've got the Sea Dragon. The Sea Dragon is card 18, and it says, be gentle with yourself. So it suggests a sensitivity, a vulnerability, a fragility that's potentially present for some of us on Monday. So the Sea Dragon sort of goes with the flow and the currents of the movements of the waters, and we've been encouraged to think about how aligned or out of alignment we might be with the ebb and the flow of what's going on in our life now. Are we moving with things, or are we pushing against things? If we're pushing against, we might notice a louder vulnerability that we feel. We might feel quite fragile at times, quite breakable in some ways as well. For some reason, we could know why, we might not know why. There might be an anniversary or something that we're dealing with at the moment that makes us feel a little fragile, like glass that could break. So whenever we feel fragile, it's good to remind ourselves to be gentle with ourselves. In fact, I like to remind myself of the one word twice, which is gently, 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 gently. I just tell myself if I'm feeling ultra fragile or sensitive at a particular time. So a gentleness, a fragility, going with the flow. It won't always feel like this. It's a temporary place to be in. So let's now look at Tuesday, the 17th of December. We have Speed of Light Oracle cards, the Spirit Bird for Tuesday. This is card 37 for the 17th. And it says heart, song, joy, excitement, and motivation. So this is a skip to your step. It's a whistle while you work. There is an uplifting feeling here. So even if we feel a bit breakable on Monday, there is this sense that something shifts potentially quite quickly, and there is a potential elevating energy coming in for Tuesday. So we're being encouraged to stay hopeful, to stay optimistic, to look at the good things that are present for us in our life at this time, the people that are there, the things that are working. And that will probably help pull us up out of that, because the fragile state can also pull us down. So we could then start thinking about who's not here and what's not working in our life, and we can go on a downward spiral. So we have to sort of keep attentive to our mind, especially when we're feeling fragile and sensitive, to make sure that we don't tip over into the lower place and we try and pull ourselves up into a higher place. So let's make sure we're looking at who is there. Let's be grateful for those that are, and try not to spend too much time thinking about those that aren't. Just the same with things that are working. Let's notice what's working, instead of spending too much time thinking about what's not working and what hasn't happened, and what's not working out for us, because that will surely pull us down. So we have a bit of a choice here. It feels like a bit of a set of scales that we have a choice of. Our mind might take us down, or our mind may take us up. And because the cards, and I don't know what the other cards say or what the theme is yet, but because the cards are pulling into this uplifting feeling, that it's really important potentially for us to think about on Monday and maybe going into Tuesday of looking at the more positive things, the glass being half full instead of the glass being half empty. So how are we going to cast ourselves a lifeline mentally to keep ourselves, or to pull ourselves up and out rather than down and in? So there could be a sense of motivation too, and enthusiasm for something we've got going on Tuesday. Now Wednesday, we're just going to go day for day for now, and then we might bundle the weekend together. So this is for Wednesday, the 18th of December, and we have Animal Kingdom Oracle card, and we have the Shadow, the Raven card, which came up last week. And it says, face your shadow with honesty. And it's card 17 for the 18th. So this is that sort of lower energy that's probably going to want to pull us down. And we might have already this feeling coming in of sort of ups and downs as we move through the first couple of days of this week. I really feel a big part of the ups and the downs is going to be the state of our mind. So let's make sure that we're not wallowing too much, or not, if we're feeling sort of a lower depressive energy, what can we do to distract ourselves? Maybe step outside, go for a walk, do some exercise, or whatever it is that helps support and nourish us during our lowest moments of this, at least earlier this week. There is opportunity on Wednesday for us to face our shadow. So the shadow are like aspects of ourselves that may be flaws or imperfections or issues or wounds or things that are triggered within us that pull us down as well, that pull us into fear or pull us into resistance. So being aware of what's going on within us, especially mentally, will probably help us hopefully see or recognise what's pulling us down so that we can do something about that. Now, this card suggests that there's something deeper going on, like some more longer term issue or wound that may be playing out at this time and may be rearing its head like a snake or a serpent rearing its head in our life at this time. So what are we afraid of, and why are we afraid? Can we build up our courage, our strength within ourselves to become, and let that strength become louder than the fear that we're facing? So we have a certain level of fear that we're facing, depends on how we feel and depending on what it is. And the best way I've personally found to face my fear is to build my strength. And sometimes it means strengthening my body. I might feel like I want to just strengthen my body itself. I might want to strengthen my mind. In fact, the mind is a big part of this. And I look at, okay, I've got this level of fear and I might be feeling quite low. So the fear is very loud and quite dominating. But if I can build my courage to be louder than the fear, then the fear doesn't go anywhere, but I'm stronger now, and I can face that fear and move through the fear to whatever the fear is trying to stop me from doing on the other side. Letting go of fear doesn't quite work, I find. It's better to me to build my strength and then move through it. It's something I've got to face. It's not something I can pretend doesn't exist, because it's a real feeling. So if I can be strong and face it, and my strength is louder than the fear that I'm facing, then that usually gives me what I need to do or feel to get through that fear and get to the other side of it. Because it's like a veil. It's not going to always be there. It's a veil. If we can push past it with that strength, then we can get onto the other side where the fear doesn't exist, that particular fear. So the fear might be coming up. Our shadows may be loud, and they're sort of coming up and down in waves at the moment anyway. So this is for Wednesday. So already I'm feeling, for at least the first couple of days of this week, up and down energy. We might feel up and down. We might have a day of up and a day of down. Or we may even go through ups and downs in our day. But let's keep going. Thursday, the 19th of December, we have Speed of Light Oracle card called Overlapping Worlds, card 23. This is interesting. It says transition, sensitivity, temporary, and adjustment. So already I've said the word temporary a couple of times here. That the fragility, the fragile energy we might be feeling on Monday, it's temporary. The fear that we're feeling, unless we stay weak to the fear and we let it hover, if we can strengthen ourselves and face the fear and move through it, it's going to be temporary. It can hover if we let it hover. But if we can strengthen and move through, then it's going to pass. So this highlights again for the third time a temporary energy. The ups and downs are temporary, especially the downs, or the highs and the lows. The highs and the lows we could look at from that angle too. This card talks about us being in a time of transition. Transitional time periods are always unsettling. It's like that time when we're in between moving house and we know we're about to move. We might have a date set. We might even know where we're going. But we might have a 4, 6, 8 week transition where we're sort of tying up the old residence and preparing for the new residence. And it's sort of an uncomfortable, unsettling period. It's transitional. So it's a time in between change. And this is showing, at least for Thursday, but maybe in general at the moment, that a lot of us might be in a time of transition as we're moving from one state of being to another state of being. It's like we're walking through a hallway. We've come out of a door. Maybe we haven't quite closed it yet, but we're walking through the hallway to go to the next door or the next chapter in our life. This is also a temporary period, and it can feel like it goes on forever. It can feel like we're always going to be in between houses, or we're always going to be in this hallway in between doors closing and doors opening. It feels like it's forever when we're in it, but it can be very helpful to remind ourselves that this is temporary and I'm getting through it. Every day that I get through is taking me closer to when this will be over, or when the new door will open, or whatever's appropriate for what you've got going on. So this can be unsettling to the body. Again, it's highlighting a sensitivity. So again, a sensitive energy coming up around Monday and coming up also on Thursday. So that's for that. All right, Friday, the 20th of December, another Speed of Light Oracle card. We're still going with the theme. This is card 13 called Scattered. And it says down here, overwhelm, confusion, concentrate, and plan. This is an unruly, crazy, creative, scattered energy that's coming in for Friday. Now, I would say, based on what I've already been reading, It's not just going to be Friday. We're probably already feeling it. We may have already been feeling it before Monday even. But it's sweeping in and it is bringing this up and down energy. Now this is quite an exciting card, at least to me, because it's like the pre-manifestation phase. It's like raw creation. It's primal energy. And it's unsettling things because maybe we need change in our life. So things become unsettled to prompt us to make decisions or choices or to change or refine parts of our life. So there is great potential in this card. In fact, it brings potential, even though it feels crazy and chaotic and very scattering. And it can even feel overwhelming. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, and if you're feeling overwhelmed on Friday, it's a sure sign that you probably need a break. Even a short break, just to catch your breath, recenter yourself, get back into alignment with yourself and your priorities, so then you can keep going. So some of us may be moving into this overwhelmed state by the end of the week. If we can do what we can and create a doable plan that perhaps includes a break if we need it, then we might find that really helpful in helping us get some order into this chaotic energy. So again, very up and down is continuing through the week. Now the card for the weekend, this is for both days, Saturday and Sunday, the 21st, 22nd of December, which is the equinox. And it is, we've got a dragon. We haven't had a dragon for a while, and this is the fire dragon. So for those of you who are new, in the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, we have 5 elemental dragons, and the dragons I see as the most powerful cards in the deck. So again, we're going through this up and down. We've got highs and we've got lows potentially coming up this week. The fire dragon, card 23 for the 21st and the 22nd, says that it's a powerful time of change. So this is going very well with what I've already talked about, especially I'm thinking of this card, Overlapping Worlds. This talks about a time of change, a time of transition where we're going from one state to another. One door's closing, another door is opening. And it may not be that linear for some of us or specific. It might be more of an overlap as things change for us and things open for us. So a new beginning, endings kind of energy. So this is a powerful time of change, especially the weekend, but we can really tie this whole week together, that this is a changing period. We are changing. People around us are changing. Our life is changing. And even the world, aspects of the world are changing. So are we moving with it? Are we adjusting with it? Are we on board with this? Are we on the train and the speed that the train's going at? Or are we trying to go against the movement of things? Do we want things to be how they used to be? That's pretty dangerous, especially in things like long-term relationships, to want to go back to how things used to be, because things change. We change. We may want to go back to who we used to be when we were younger and had more energy and things were going well for us. So we have to be careful that we're not wishing ourselves back into the past and wishing our life away. Can we get on board and in alignment with our body, our mind, and where we are now? And can we move with it? If we were getting on a train, a high-speed train, can we get on board that and let the train guide us forward? Or are we feeling like we're running beside the train and we just can't keep up? Then we might be feeling overwhelmed and may need a break, so we can get back into alignment, get on board with our life and flow and move with it. So change is occurring. Change is natural. Change happens all the time. In fact, it's unnatural really for us to expect that things have to stay the same. So let's be careful that we're not holding ourselves back with that type of thinking. That things change. Let's enjoy our moments with special people that we have in our life. Let's enjoy the times that are working, because things are going to change. We all move on. We all part ways eventually. Things change. So if we can enjoy what we have when we have it, then we might not grieve so much when things move on and doors close. So a very powerful week it looks like here. I'm very keen to see the theme card, but I'll pull that in a minute. I want to thank you firstly for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love if you're watching on Facebook. Please comment, please share if you're inspired to. If you are watching on Facebook, please hit the follow button if you haven't already. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. So if you'd like to learn more about my cards that I've used today, the Animal Kingdom Oracle or the Speed of Light Oracle, you can learn more about them on my website. You can combine them like this, which is lots of fun, or you can work with the decks separately. It's completely up to you. In fact, if you're a beginner, I'd probably work with them separately first, and I'll probably work with the Animal Kingdom first if you don't really have cards that you use. And then as you get to know this card deck, you can get perhaps the Speed of Light Oracle, and you can combine them together as you want to advance your reading skills for yourself. That's where mine started when I was reading for me. So this is just me doing these sorts of videos and connections with individuals potentially when I do them is just really an extension of the practice that I've done with these sorts of decks on myself. And I read for myself regularly. So if you'd like to learn more about the decks or the work I do here at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. So our best card for the theme. The theme will bring this whole week together and help us see the bigger picture. But there is quite the theme going on. There may be more downs than ups. There may be more lows than highs this week, just looking at the cards. So I think we'll have to be really careful to keep our mind in check this week. Make sure our mind is probably going to go on a roller coaster, and staying aware of what's going on in our mind and making sure that we're picking and choosing our thoughts really consciously will help support us at least staying on a bit of a high, or hopefully on a neutral ground this week. So if we're out of control with our mind, we might have more lows than highs. So the best theme card to tie this whole week together from the 16th to the 22nd of December 2024 for the majority of us is a Speed of Light Oracle card, and it is the Stepping In card. Card 16, and it says solo commitment, test, allow, and flow. So I've already talked quite a bit about the allowing and the flow kind of element. That was like when I was talking about getting on board with the train or going with the flow of things, and being careful that we're not wanting to have things how they used to be kind of thinking or mentality, because that will then pull us quite a distance between where we are now and where things are going in our life. And then we start feeling separate and we start feeling quite alone and sort of pulled at. There feels to be a big gap. So I've already really covered that. Another element of this card is about commitment. It's about a solo commitment, so a commitment we make to ourselves. And it could be a commitment we make to do something. It could be, right, I need to break this bad habit. I need to perhaps exercise more regularly because I've been thinking about it and talking about it, but not doing it. So there is this sense of making a commitment or a promise to ourselves for betterment or for improvement. Maybe we're wanting to make more of a commitment in our life. Maybe we've been a bit too airy-fairy or a bit too ungrounded, a bit reluctant to make a commitment, maybe in a relationship or in a workplace or in regards to where we live. So maybe this is this up and down kind of scattered energy that seems to be present this week. Maybe it's to help us see where we can bring more structure and commitment and a permanence into our life. And it's not keeping it permanent and stuck, because things are always changing and flowing and moving, but something that we can create a structure around in our life, like a commitment to break a habit or a commitment to learn a new skill. That helps create a structure that then we can build our life around, at least for a time period. And sometimes we need that structure, especially if things are just off off the show and all over the place. If things are all over the place for me, I have to bring some structure in. So I've got to look at then my routine, my schedule. What am I doing with my time? Do I need to start a new project or a new venture to give me something to work towards, some type of structure and commitment that I can focus on, a goal that I can set myself? Because that helps bring a structure, like an order in some ways, into the chaotic energy that's moving around. So what my personal aim is in my life is to try and balance these two elements, the order and the chaos. So I'm looking at how can I bring structure into the flow, and how can I get these elements working together. It's a bit like trying to contain water. And if we don't contain water, it's just going to spread out everywhere. But if we can build a chalice or a bowl or some type of structure to hold the water, then we can work better with the water, and we can work better potentially keeping that structure in place for however long it needs to be. So it's like a masculine, feminine, it's a push and a pull, it's a polarity energy, order and chaos, structure and flow. And how can we bring these energies together so they can work together? Because it does feel, this up and down energy that I've talked about with the cards, it does feel a bit sort of scattered and a bit airy-fairy, a bit ungrounded. So I'm not really surprised, and I'm actually quite happy this has come up for our theme, because it does show that maybe we need to bring some order in. Maybe we need to commit to something in our life to give us something to look forward to, something to strive towards, some bad habit to break, or whatever it might be for us. So we are ready to make a commitment to step in, or maybe you'd prefer stepping out and making a commitment to ourselves, a promise that we're going to give up this habit, or we're going to start something new, we're going to exercise daily, we're going to meditate regularly, whatever it might be. Committing in this relationship and just going for something and seeing what happens. So that's our theme. Very nice. Thank you for connecting. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy your equinox, your solstice rather. I was just talking about the equinox before, so enjoy your solstice, and I'll connect with you again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.